kids. My name is Miss Nancy, and I'm so glad you're here with Grow with Miss Nancy. Today, we are talking about the Acts part of the Bible where it turns out that, oh my gosh, finally, Paul made it to Jerusalem. You know, he's been traveling towards Jerusalem. All these people were saying, don't go, you're going to be in trouble. And when he finally gets to Jerusalem, the believers there say, oh, there's going to be trouble. They already knew that. So they were trying to figure out how could they keep from having big trouble for Paul. And so they said to Paul, there are some fellas here who have had a vow to God, and they have completed whatever it was that they vowed God they would do. And it was the Jewish tradition that you would go to the temple and that you would shave your head as a proof that you had completed your vow. So they said, why don't you go with these fellas and go with them to support them, to show that you do believe the Jewish traditions and that you don't think they're wrong. And Paul said, yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea. Well, you know, all these people were trying to help him. They loved Paul. They knew that he was such a good man, and they wanted him to not be in trouble, not have problems, even though there were going to be some problems. But Paul was there to help out. You know, Paul was a tent maker. He actually worked. Every place he went, he worked. He didn't mooch off the people. He supported himself. He even supported some of the believers that went along with him. Remember, Luke was one that went along with him. And they all worked together. They were trying to help the people that Paul was teaching. You know, in the Bible, what they ask us to do as leaders in the church is to shepherd the people. Now, why do they use that term? Well, it turns out that a shepherd takes care of sheep. And I don't know if you know this, but sheep are kind of dumb. Like, they're scary little animals in that they're scared all the time. If water is running too fast and has rapids and bubbles and all kinds of stuff, they're scared of it and they won't drink. No matter how thirsty they are, they will not drink. So when a shepherd is leading the flocks of sheep, he has to find water that is nice and calm so that the sheep won't be afraid. And he has to find places where the sheep have plenty of grass or whatever they need to eat. And then at night, he might even take the sheep to a cave, put all the sheep in the cave, and then him sleep on the ground at the opening of the cave in case there are any wild animals that come along, because the sheep can't defend themselves at all. That's how a good leader does. He knows what the followers need and helps to provide that. Think of the leaders in our church. You know, it's their job to guide us to what we need. And the Holy Spirit will speak to them so that they know what we need because the Holy Spirit told them. And then they can then help us become better Christians and lead better Christian lives because we are taught what we need to know. That's what Pastor Chris and Pastor Jarrell do. You know, that's their job, and it's hard work because first they have to find out from the Holy Spirit what it is we need, and then they have to figure out how best to lead us, just like sheep, into what we need to do to lead better Christian lives. It's hard work. We should really appreciate our pastors. And next month is Pastor Appreciation Month, so it'd be really good if you would, when you see Pastor Chris or Pastor Drill, if you would say thank you to them for leading us, guiding us, and showing us as good, setting good examples for how to live a Christian life. And that leads us to our big idea. Our big idea is Christians set good examples for others on how to live their lives. Well, I'm glad you were here today. I'll see you next week. Bye.